Hey everyone, welcome back. In our last episode, we dove into the importance of soil health for successful agroforestry. Today, we're building on that foundation by exploring a key principle that takes our systems to the next level: stratification. Understanding plant layers is absolutely crucial for maximizing productivity and creating a truly resilient agroforestry system. So, what exactly is stratification? Well, if you've never walked through a natural forest, you probably noticed it's not just a random collection of trees. There's a clear structure with different plants growing at different heights. That's stratification. It's the natural layering of vegetation. Agroforestry mimics this natural ecosystem, creating diverse layers of plants that work together. All right, let's get fired up about agroforestry stratification. Forget those monoculture deserts, folks. We're talking about building vibrant, resilient ecosystems that explode with life and productivity. Look, nature has been doing this for millennia. Forests aren't just a bunch of trees thrown together, they're intricately layered systems. Why are we so insistent on ignoring that wisdom? We rip out diverse ecosystems and replace them with rows of the same damn thing. Then wonder why our soil is depleted, our crops are vulnerable, and our planet is burning. Stratification isn't just a fancy word, it's the key to unlocking the true nature and potential of our land. Think about it: the emergent layer, those towering giants, they're not just providing timber, they're creating shade, regulating wind, and bringing in birds that control pests. The canopy layer bursting with fruit. It's not just food, it's creating habitat, building soil, and sequestering carbon. And don't even get me started on the subcanopy, the shrubs, the herbaceous layer, the ground cover, and the rhizosphere. Every single layer plays a vital role. We're talking about maximizing space, capturing sunlight at every level, and creating a symphony of synergistic relationships. And the planting techniques, it's not just about throwing seeds in the ground, it's about strategic placement, companion planting, and understanding the needs of each species. We're talking about using nitrogen fixing trees to fertilize the soil, planting ground cover to suppress weeds, and using chop and drop to create a self sustaining nutrient cycle. This isn't just farming, it's ecosystem engineering. We're creating systems that are more resilient to pests, diseases, and climate change. We're building soil that's teeming with life, capturing carbon, and producing a bounty of food, fiber, and medicine. But here's the thing: it takes observation, it takes planning, and it takes a shift in mind state. We need to move away from the industrial model of agriculture and embrace the wisdom of nature. We need to stop treating our land like a factory and start treating it like a living, breathing ecosystem. Because when we do that, when we embrace the power of agroforestry stratification, we're not just growing food, we're growing a future where our farms are vibrant, our communities are resilient, and our planet is healing. And that, my friends, is something worth getting fired up about. Now let's break down the 7 layers of an agroforestry system. First, we have the emergent layer. These are the tallest trees, like timber species or nut trees. They tower above the rest, providing shade and wind protection. Next, the canopy layer. This is where you'll find the larger fruit trees, like mangoes, avocados, or even some taller citrus varieties. Below that, we have the sub-canopy layer. These are your smaller fruit trees like citrus, coffee, or cacao that thrive in partial shade. Moving down, we have the shrub layer. This includes bushes and taller herbaceous plants like berries, pigeon peas, and even some medicinal shrubs. Then we have the herbaceous layer. This is where your vegetables, herbs, and many medicinal plants reside. After that, the ground cover layer. This is crucial for soil health. It includes cover crops, sweet potatoes, and other plants that spread across the ground, preventing erosion and suppressing weeds. And finally, we have the rhizosphere layer. This is the underground world of root crops like yams, ginger, and turmeric. It's often overlooked, but it's a vital part of the system. Now, how do we design a productive agroforestry system using these layers? It's all about choosing plant species that complement each other. Consider their light, water, and nutrient requirements. For instance, taller trees provide shade for shade-loving plants in the subcanopy. Efficient management is key. Using chop and drop techniques, as we've discussed before in previous episodes, within your stratification system. Pruning branches from the canopy layer can provide mulch for the ground cover, and so on. Now let me give you some examples so you can see what these layers are doing. Here you can see our emergent layer with these timber trees. Below them we have the canopy layer with our mango trees, and further down the subcanopy with citrus. See how they shade from the taller trees benefits from the smaller ones? You could also see here the ground cover is protecting the soil. We are using chop and drop to mulch the area. So to wrap things up, remember that stratification is about maximizing space and resources by mimicking natural ecosystems. By carefully selecting plants and managing their interactions, you can create a highly productive and resilient agroforestry system. I encourage you to observe the natural stratification around you and start applying these principles to your own farm or garden. And in our next episode, we'll be exploring another exciting aspect of agroforestry,